Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nancy Hay, the mother of little Sabrina Slater. Most of you have seen me and heard me speak before about my problems with Arlington Child Protective Services and Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court. A lot of people do not realize this, but a person accused of murder has more rights in the legal system than a person accused of child abuse or neglect. This is because a person accused of murder gets a trial by a jury of their peers and is assumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. In Juvenile and Domestic Relations Court, however, there are no juries, and a person who is accused of child abuse or neglect, no matter how unfounded the charges, can lose custody of their child on the whim of one judge. Many of these judges, such as Esther Wiggins Lyle, are former prosecutors for CPS, and so they tend to believe any charges that are brought against a parent by the government. Often, CPS makes charges against parents that are brought by hearsay evidence or by someone who has a personal grudge against the parents. This evidence is admitted in court and is given undue weight. Contrary to the assumption of innocent until proven otherwise, the parents are automatically assumed guilty of the charges, and the burden is upon them to prove the charges false. Esther Wiggins Lyle is a terminator far more dangerous than any in any Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. She has terminated the parental rights of many innocent and loving parents, particularly mothers, in Arlington, Virginia. It is time to end her reign of terror. Many of us tried to do just that in Richmond, Virginia in December of last year when she was up for reappointment before the Virginia General Assembly. Those of us who have lost custody of our children due to her rulings presented numerous examples of her biases, lack of professionalism, and outright rudeness to parents in her court. In spite of the evidence presented, the Virginia General Assembly voted unanimously to reappoint her without any debate. I really hope that Virginia residents will vote all of these incumbents out of office in the next election. By reappointing Judge Wiggins Lyle, they sent a message to the victims of parental alienation that they do not care about our suffering. A major change that needs to be made in the child welfare system is that parents accused of being unfit deserve a jury trial before losing custody of their children. The same rules of evidence need to be applied as would apply in any other criminal matter. This will ensure that a parent and their child could not be separated for 18 years from each other because of the bias or personal prejudice of a judge or CPS worker. Another major change that needs to be made is the removal of the financial incentives for placing children for adoption. Legislation such as the Child Abuse Prevention and Treatment Act and the Adoption and Safe Families Act need to be repealed. These pieces of legislation simply give child protection agencies too much of an incentive to remove children from loving homes and place them for adoption, rather than making every attempt to keep them with their birth families. This is evidenced by a local television show called Wednesday's Child, where children in foster care are advertised for adoption. However, one such child advertised there for adoption was Moses Washington, whose mother I know, Benita Washington, and she is currently fighting in Arlington court to regain custody of him. He should not have been advertised for adoption. Now, everyone is in favor of protecting the rights of children and prosecuting those who truly abuse them to the fullest extent of the law. But the system as it is now is severely flawed. It's biased against biological parents and in favor of those with money and political connections. I ask the U.S. Congress now to do their job, make these changes to protect innocent families, and help return all the children to their loving birth families where they belong. Thank you.